Hello, Sylvie-Forders! Today, we're going to talk about 5 easy steps to setting up a productive daily routine. It's more difficult than ever to keep focused on your everyday duties and be productive these days. There's simply too much going on in our environment. Staying focused is difficult with continuous social media notifications, mounds of emails, and the latest must-watch stuff on multiple streaming media platforms. That isn't to say that keeping an effective daily schedule is impossible. You might be surprised to learn that there are several basic strategies you can use to reclaim control of your day and complete all of your tasks. It all starts with planning. Of course, you'll need to commit to sticking to a daily regimen, and if you're not willing or capable of doing so, you may stop reading now. But you've come to the perfect place if you want to learn how to create a productive daily plan. We'll go through 5 basic measures you can take every day to increase your output, minimize waste, and work at peak efficiency. Let's get started if you are ready to reclaim control of your day. Number 1, find out what your ideal work schedule is. Before you can figure out how to make the most of your day, you must first comprehend how your physiology and personal work style affect your productivity. If you're a morning person, for example, it could be better to prioritize your most critical chores first in your daily routine. Leaving those tasks until the end of the day, on the other hand, would be a disaster. You can, however, go much further. You must first gather data in order to determine your ideal work schedule. Begin by keeping note of your work habits, whatever they are now, for 2 or 3 weeks. Make a note of when you get the most work done during the day, as well as any external distractions that may be interfering with your job. The goal is to figure out when your natural energy peak is and then filter out any extraneous influences that are working against you. This serves 2 purposes. First and foremost, it will assist you in determining your most productive hours. Second, it will determine which distractions take the most time away from you. And knowing those 2 elements will put you in a far better position to create a timetable that maximizes your productivity. Number 2, set aside time for productive work. After you've figured out what times of day are most productive for you, the next step in designing your new schedule is to block off that time and reserve it for most of your important work. By blocking it off, I mean making sure those times are distraction-free and entirely dedicated to working. That means you'll have to set your Wi-Fi to turn off during those hours to avoid slipping down the internet rabbit hole. Set an autoresponder in your email if you need to let people know they'll have to wait for a response for a later time. It's fine if you have to use a time-blocking program to keep yourself from taking too many smartphone breaks. To summarize, you must establish an atmosphere in which you can focus on the tasks at hand and ensure that you have only the tools necessary to execute these duties. Then you may schedule your most critical tasks for each day into those time slots, knowing that you'll be able to do them all. If you think that's a stretch, believe me when I say it isn't, and I'll show you why. Consider the numerous studies that show the average worker is only productive for roughly 3 hours a day. Now go back and review your data from step 1. I'm guessing you came up with the figures to similar of that average daily production. If you didn't, you wouldn't be hearing this article about how to make your calendar more effective. Instead, you'd be writing one. In any case, you should now realize why guarding your most productive time is so important. You can increase your total productivity by maximizing what you get done in these hours. That's all there is to it. Number 3, appropriate break times should be scheduled. You should only allow one thing and one thing only: to interrupt your most productive time. Periodic breaks. We are most productive when we work in sprints, as weird as it may sound. Stranger still, statistically, studies suggest that the ideal work sprint length in 52 minutes followed by a 17-minute break. That's right, you heard that right. Yes, this implies you should set aside nearly an hour of your typical 8-hour workday for non-work related activities. It will help you concentrate better during work sprints and get more done, so there's no need to feel terrible about it. The best part is that this is true even when you're not working. You won't be squandering time before or after you peak production hours as a result. When you won't be as productive as you once were, you'll nonetheless accomplish more. Before we go any further, you might be asking if this isn't just another moniker for the Pomodoro technique. Sort of is the answer. Working in shorter sprints, 25 minutes in fact, with even shorter pauses in between, is required for this strategy. While it may increase productivity, it is also tough to fit into a schedule. The The reason for this is obvious. Most people's workdays involve items like mandated meetings and check-ins that last more than 25 minutes. Whether or not you should include these in your calendar is a separate issue we'll discuss later. That implies you'll be attempting to divide your time in a way that will inevitably result in inefficiency. Your possibilities expand as your print time approaches an hour. You may group your 15-minute and a half-hour meetings together to get them out the way during a less productive hour, and you can group your task-filled sprints together during your most productive hours. And once you figure out how long your average task lasts, you'll see why this method performs better than the Pomodoro method. Number 4, schedule availability in the shortest timeframes possible. The problem with everything we've spoken about so far is that you won't be operating in a vacuum. That means coworkers, family members, and even phone fraudsters will do everything they can to sabotage your productivity and disrupt your days. They don't mean to do it, but the result is the same. You'll need the scheduled time in your day to deal with things like phone calls, face-to-face conversations, and email contact to accommodate this. However, there are 2 strategies that can help you manage all of these time-consuming duties and prevent them from taking over your day. The first is to set aside specified times to complete such duties and to notify those in your immediate vicinity that you will not be available at other times. You're avoiding a lot of the distractions you normally have to deal with by doing so. If you let others know ahead of time when you're available, you won't feel awful about ignoring calls and emails as they come in, or setting them to voicemail or an auto reply. But none of it will prevent others from placing demands on your time. After all, even while there's compelling evidence to indicate you should, you can't delete every meeting from your schedule. What you can do, though, is adjust the default meeting request conditions. For example, if you have a calendar system where individuals may request meetings with you, try decreasing the system's default meeting time. This is feasible in both Google Calendar and Microsoft Outlook, as well as most other scheduling tools. Set your default time to the least amount of time that makes sense for your purposes. This converts into 5-minute slots for Elon Musk. For the rest of us, 10 to 15 minutes should be sufficient. This works because it compels those who ask for your time to ask for more of it rather than devouring it by default. What's more, guess what? You'll probably discover that most individuals won't ask or even notice that you've reduced your availability windows. For you, that's a huge time saver. And here it is, number 5. At all costs, avoid multitasking. Even if you think you're an expert multitasker, I've got some bad news for you. You're not. Nobody is like that. This has been confirmed time and time again by numerous research, and the more you try, the less effective you will become. Furthermore, you're more likely to make more mistakes in your work and waste even more time cleaning up your own mess. The takeaway from this in terms of daily scheduling is self-evident. It's that you should endeavor to find a place in your calendar for every single important task you're aware of and resist the urge to cram in unscheduled tasks. You can, however, do even better. When you look into why we humans are so awful at multitasking, you'll discover that it's because our brains have a hard time moving between different types of work. This results in a phenomenon known as switching costs, in which we unintentionally squander time figuring out how to adapt to each new task. To put it in another way, attempting to perform 2 activities at the same time will always take longer than completing them one after the other. You can take advantage of this knowledge by scheduling similar tasks in your individual work sprints back to back. You'll find that you get more done in each time slot and waste far less time if you do so. When you consider how much time you save over the course of a day, it's a greater deal than you might imagine. According to research, switching expenses can cost up to 40% of our productivity. Thus, restructuring your job list in this manner could nearly double your productivity. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.